Good morning.
Good morning.
Happy to be here this morning. So, how many people were saying bad things to their television last night? Okay.
It wasn't my television's fault, though.
It was not the television's fault. No, it was not. But that's okay. We're here to celebrate Greene County and Leadership Academy. We're going to talk about Leadership Academy today. And we're going to prepare for the upcoming session, which will start in January of 2026. Now, that seems like a long way away, but guys, it's not. We've got October, we've got November, we've got December, and it's going to fly by. So we want you to kind of be thinking about what Leadership Academy is, if you might be interested in participating in the class. And so I'm going to turn it over to Megan. She's going to give you a little history about Leadership Academy, and then I'm going to pick it up at the end.
Hello, everybody. Hi. I am Megan. I notice a lot of recognizable faces, but I don't know everybody. So I'm Megan Applegate. I work with the county commission. I work with that guy back over there. Keep him in line, make sure he's not off into the weeds and in the ditches. It is. It's a very tough job. Actually, he had to be here today. I kind of follow him around to make sure he's not up to no good. I've worked for the county now for about 10 years, and as lame as it might sound, I've enjoyed every single minute of it. But I just want to give a little bit of history of what GCLA is, and kind of what exactly you can expect if you choose to come out and put your name in the hat to be in the next class. GCLA came about in about 2010 with the former County Administrator Tim Smith. He had modeled it off of a similar program that Missouri State had implemented, and it was something he brought to the commission and other office holders and thought that it would be a really good idea, and they chose to move forward with it. GCLA was really successful. It ran for about 4 years, and then in 2014 it was kind of put on pause. It's set on pause for about 8 years, and then in 2022 the commission said, hey, you know what, sounds like this could be a real value to the employees, and so they unpaused it. Since 2022, there's been 7 GCLA classes that have graduated from Greene County, which is about, I think, 150 people almost that have went through the Leadership Academy. What the Leadership Academy does is, I see lots of faces of people that have been through it. Has anybody never heard of the GCLA before? Okay, good. So just for the benefit of people that may listen to this later who have no idea what GCLA is a 6-month course that helps teach employees about everything Greene County. You learn about every single office within Greene County. You learn about our partnerships with the city of Springfield that we have. You learn how everybody interacts together as far as the employees and the offices work together, but we also learn how we all serve the citizens. And not just the citizens of Greene County. You'll find that often offices serve outside of Greene County. It's a huge, long net that we cast, and you learn how all of that comes together and how everybody collaborates for teamwork. In addition to that, you learn leadership skills that you can use in your everyday work. You can use it above and beyond. You could use it at home. There's so many valuable skills that you learn at GCLA. One of my favorite parts of the GCLA is that there's also a service project. Everybody gets together in the class. We all talk about it. We say, okay, we want to do a leadership academy. As the Leadership Academy, we want to go out and serve the community. And in the past, we've done things with CASA. I know that the Ozark Food Harvest is another really popular option where you collaborate as a team and you serve the community that way. Trying to think if I've left anything out. GCLA also overviews the Great Game of Business, which is how it was the whole entire purpose really of the Leadership Academy, was to teach about financial transparency and to learn about open book management and that benefits employees. You learn how the open book management benefits the employees, and then it also sends it back out to the citizens to benefit them as well. So that's basically a large overview of the GCLA Academy. I also have little brochures that we've created in the past years that if somebody in your office is interested, or if you're interested and you want more information, grab one of these before you leave, because it will really highlight everything that GCLA has to offer.
Nice job, Megan. Great overview. So is anybody enticed yet? Okay, I'm seeing some hands. That's looking good. So Megan gave a great overview of the Leadership Academy. And as we sit in this room, we're all leaders, and that's going to just boost our leadership. It's just going to elevate that leadership. As you start learning from others in the county, you learn what they do, how we interact, how we collaborate, how we're community collaborators, and you become a close-knit group, okay? One of the things that Megan has been gracious to do is steer this ship. Okay, as she mentioned, our former county administrator, Tim Smith, developed the program. But when Tim Smith left us, we had a void. We didn't have anyone to step up. Tim Smith did come back and teach one class, but he needed us to carry the ball. And Megan so graciously stepped up and has been carrying the water ever since. And I enjoy partnering with her because I try to steer the great game piece and the open book management, financial literacy side of things. So Megan's a great partner, and she's doing a great job with these sessions. One of the things that we'd like to do for this upcoming class is we'd like to have a very short application, okay? And I say very short. I think we've got 4 or 5 questions on it. And the reason we want to do an application is so that you get an understanding of what you're going to be in for. So we've got an overview on the screen that indicates that we have 2 sessions a month, and they're on Wednesdays, and they go from 8:30 to 12:30. Okay, so that's an investment. That's an investment in you. That's an investment in your department. It's an investment in Greene County. Okay, and we've listed the 12 dates, that the 12 Wednesdays that are on the screen for you. Okay, so you know in advance what the dates are, what the time commitment is, what you feel like you could do for yourself and for the county. So I'm going to give you a quick rundown of the questions so you can be thinking, because we're going to send these out this week, Megan? Yeah, we're going to send these out this week. So the first question is, why are you applying for the Greene County Leadership Academy? Okay, so the why. Why are you interested? What does teamwork mean to you? Okay, so the class is typically 24 people, and it's broken up into teams, and teams are competitive, but teams work together, and teams work across teams. So what does it mean? What does teamwork mean to you? Okay. What type of learning opportunities, growth, or involvement are you looking for in your career with Greene County? So where do you see your growth? You know, what do you anticipate learning? Okay. How do you plan to apply the knowledge you learned from the academy to your office over the next year? Okay, now that's specific. How do you plan to apply what you learned to your office? Okay. And then the final one, do you have work or personal commitments that might affect your ability to fulfill the 12 classes? Okay. So it's giving you an idea of, okay, I'm committed to the class. I'm committed to the teammates in that class. I'm committed to bringing that information back to my office. Okay. So as Megan mentioned, we've got a number of Leadership Academy graduates in the room today. Okay. So if I call on you, don't be bashful. Okay. So would any former graduates like to come up and share your experience before I call on you?
There's Cammie.
Okay, Cammie. Come on up, Cammie.
Come on down.
Okay, I think I was in the 2024 class, not the last class, but the class before. And six? Yeah, okay. So I just really enjoyed being a part of the team. I got to know, I mean, I'm in HR, so I know lots of people at the county, but I got to know people that I've never even seen before in different departments. I got to learn what they did, which some of it I was like, oh, that sounds fun. But I mean, it really opened my eyes to what everybody does at the county and how our little pieces all plug in together to make what we do possible. I loved the Great Game of Business. We walked through the book together and slowly, and Cindy taught each class. So it was great. We also had an opportunity to teach a class for extra points, and I'm all about extra points. So I was able to get up in front of my class and teach a class. I don't remember which one I did. I did a Great Game of Business one, I think, and then maybe an HR one. I'm not sure. But it was just a great time. I mean, I really felt invested into the county, and I felt like from there I was able to reach out to other departments because I truly knew what they did and how their piece of the puzzle plugged in to make our operations work. So
Awesome.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
I too was in class 6, and GCLA was a life changer in many, many ways. I also have been here for 10 years, and GCLA gave me relationships with other departments that I never would have had the opportunity to have, but I can't tell you how many times I've called upon those relationships since the GCLA class. And the knowledge that I retained while I was in that class from listening to whether it be Cindy teaching on the transparency of the county and or the others that are speaking about their departments. There are things that I would have never, ever known and didn't know, even after a decade of being here. So not only the friendships and the bonds that you make with the peoples, it's also the connections to the other departments. It's the knowledge that you bring back because you have the ability to answer the public's questions whenever they come at you, not knowing where they need to go or how they can handle their business. It was also very organized and in a manner that it was very fun and educational. So you grow in many ways in all these classes while fulfilling the internal goals that you might want to have in your career, just helping others. And I think we're all a little bit servant-hearted, or else we probably wouldn't be in the public business like we are. So I highly recommend GCLA in whatever fashion because you will take away many things from it, guaranteed.
Good morning again. I was in class 7, and like everyone here before me said, it's just a lot of fun getting to meet anyone from all of the other offices in the county. You get to share financial information. You learn a lot about budgeting and that open book policies that we have and the transparency. But overall, highly recommend it. You get to see what other people do. You get to tour their offices. The relationships you build are probably the most valuable things you can possess within the county. And just having that camaraderie and that team environment is huge. Highly recommend it.
Awesome. Kelly, would you like to come up? You're a leader. Come on.
Kelly Short with the Environmental Division. I was in class 7. This will be class 8. I'll just reiterate more or less what everybody else just said. The Great Game of Business was more or less written toward a private corporation, and the history of why we went with that book is kind of interesting. You learn kind of the background in the 2008 financial problems that we had and how the county wanted to steer towards something different and do things differently and do things better. And so you have to look at the book and kind of squint and uh, apply it to public service. But it was a really good book. I learned a lot of things out of the book, but mostly the connections that you make with the county. I'm rather new to the county. I've only been here a little over a year. And just to see how offices operate and operate together, how we can mesh better and lean on each other was the greatest benefit of the entire class. But again, thumbs up recommendation. 5 stars.
All right, I'm Denver Doty in the auditor's office. I was in class 7. So a funny thing about me was 2 years ago, I would have never considered taking part in the Leadership Academy. I saw that it's basically one of my hangups is talking to people first thing in the morning isn't exactly my favorite thing to do. And when I heard that the first thing you do when you get into the class every morning is talking to people, I was like, really? But I eventually got over that, and I learned a thing about myself in the process, that sometimes my biggest obstacle is myself. Anyway, if you take part in the Leadership Academy, you'll learn lots of good things about the county from day one. You'll also get to know your colleagues in other offices who you may have never seen before or who you might pass in the hallway, but you'll be able to put a face to a name, which is very nice. You get to go on tours, which are always fun and informative. The jail and the highway department were my personal favorites. So if there's one thing I want everyone to take away from this, Cindy and Megan mentioned that while the Leadership Academy is an investment on your part, you're also being invested in by being part of it.
Absolutely.
I would say after the benefits the county offers, don't get me wrong, health insurance and multiple retirement plans are good. But after the benefits, Greene County Leadership Academy is the next best way the county invests in its staff. Not only by the commission for organizing it via Megan and funding it, but also for all the department heads and other representatives who take time out of their day to either present to the class about their department or offer the tour, be the tour guide for their facility. So if you take the time and invest in it, you'll get everything back and then some.
Did we tap everybody?
Kevin? You're old school.
Hey, Kevin, you're old school. You go back a ways. Come on up.
Hey, who saw Kevin's State Farm commercial last night? What?
I was not impressed with the State Farm commercial. I'm a diehard Chiefs fan, and I love the Andy Reid mustache commercial, but after that, they've gone downhill. They had Trey Smith, and they said, when you need a guard like this for protection, you get the crossing guard. And the guy says his name is Kevin Barnes.
Oh.
So I'm already crafting my lawsuit for name, image, and likeness. I mean, if college kids get money, why wouldn't I get it? They use my name. I said, you shouldn't take this so personally. I said, it's my name. I was in Leadership Academy too, so the original Tim Smith, the guy, not any Tim Smith on the State Farm commercial. He was the Tim Smith, and he did a great job. I knew Tim before I came to the county, and I just was really impressed with his ability to take government and make it more practical, down to earth. I appreciate the regulations the county had, but I too learned by other offices and departments coming and speaking. I didn't know what everybody else did in the county. I knew my little world. And so it's really nice to have your eyes open and see all of the things. And, you know, I realized as the stormwater engineer at the time, I knew stormwater in unincorporated Greene County, but I didn't think about all the services that are provided for all the citizens of the county. The prosecuting attorney's office was a surprise to me. And then juvenile, you know, what they deal with, and the sheriff's office, and all of the citizens of the county benefit from the services that the county provides. And so it was really eye-opening for me. I enjoyed Jack Stack's book, and I was able to see some of the things too. I mean, Jack was struggling with how do you apply this to government, because you can't give out bonuses and you can't reward people with money, but most of us aren't here for money. And so it's that personal satisfaction you take, and from being open. I think there's a lot to say about that. People are really receptive to that. They think of us as the bureaucrats, so you don't know how the real world works. But when you show them that no, we're regular people too, and we you know, we want you to benefit, and we benefit from that. So I really enjoyed the class. I'm glad the county's doing it. I was sad to see it go away, and I'm glad to see you all have brought it back, and it's thriving, and I hope that everybody in the county can take advantage of it at some point.
Well, we're going to wrap this up, and you're going to get an email later in the week that's going to have the application in it with the 4 or 5 questions that we've asked. So be thinking about what your responses would be to that. If you would, it's going to be in a Word doc, so you could edit right in it, and then send that back to Megan and I. And we'll collect those, and we'll be announcing the 2026 class then after the application process is going on. How long do we want to leave that open? Maybe a couple weeks, or what do you think?
Yeah, I would say maybe a month. That way I know
Okay.
November and December are busy months for people, but
Okay.
give people
So
plenty of time.
we'll give you the information in the application. We'll give you a deadline of when that is. We'll reiterate the dates, so you have those in front of you instead of on the screen right there. And hopefully you'll be part of class 2026. Is that going to be class number 8?
Class number 8.
Okay, awesome. Thank you all for participating. I appreciate it. Have a good day.